And I always say there is no I in team, because if you spell team, you don't see an I there. And it goes right back to an organization. when you're part of an organization, when you're part of a team, it's not one person. It's every single person makes that organization, makes that team. And you're gonna have people that have different personalities, and it's trying to make those different personalities work, because they're different skill sets, and you bring all those different skill sets to make and form a team, and that is what is lacking. The team concept is lacking, whether it's a sports team or a community organization. And we need to bring that back.
Have an interview with Miss Maxine Grant. She was the former president of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Ottawa Association. I'm just going to ask her to introduce herself, let our listeners know who she really is, and then I'll pass you over to the host of the evening, Mr. Moulton Sayers.
Good afternoon again. I'm Cippy and Moulton. Thank you guys so much for having me on your platform. A pleasant good evening to your listeners, wherever they may be, in St. Vincent, here in Canada. A pleasant good evening. So my name is Maxine Grant, formerly Adams. I was the president of the St. Vincent and Grenadines Association for over 7 years. Currently, I am the executive director for Kidney Foundation, the Rocena Kidney Foundation, that was just launched about 2 weeks ago here in Ottawa.
All right, Maxine, welcome again officially to Vincy Internet Radio. It's a pleasure to have you on our program. Our program is really designed for events that are happening in our community and around the world, of course, where we can highlight people who are doing things to make a difference in and around the world, locally and internationally, sorry. So again, like I said, welcome to the program, and it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Were the past president of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Ottawa Association, but we know you as someone who has been doing a little bit more in the community on different platforms. Can you tell us like a little bit of what you're presently involved with, or what you were involved with in the past?
Oh wow, Moulton, that list has it's so long. So I did, outside of the Caribbean community, I volunteered with Revenue Canada back during tax seasons. I volunteered with the NCC during the summertime with their program, the Sunday Bike Days. I don't know if you're familiar with that, where they close off all the parkways and just let people ride their bikes, do whatever they want there. I was also part of the Strathcona Heights Tenants Association. Currently, I'm collaborating and I'm on this health group. We're called the African Caribbean Coalition, and we organize health seminars. We have two, one in the spring and one in the fall. Actually, our fall session just ended yesterday, and that session was on kidney disease in our community. So I'm doing a lot of collaborative work with different organizations here in Ottawa, and which is very rewarding, presenting, information health-wise to our community.
So tell us a little bit more about the health seminar, because I myself was logged in yesterday and it was very informative. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay for the whole duration, and I really enjoyed it. So tell us, or tell our listeners, like how they can get in touch with one of your health seminars that will be coming up in the future, because it's really something to really be a part of.
So the health seminars, as I mentioned earlier, it's a collaborative effort. I think we have 11 organizations came together and formed this coalition. So we have Barbados, St. Lucia, Guyana, Jamaica, you know, and of course my kidney foundation that's there. And what we do, we listen to the community and hear their concerns and hear what they want to hear. So during our brainstorming from our spring session, the idea of kidney, people wanted to know more about kidney disease. And so hence the reason why we chose the topic. Personally, I was responsible for reaching out and getting the presenters. I reached out to the Kidney Foundation of Canada, and they were able to help us with all the presenters that were there at the session yesterday. So we had nephrologists, we had a nurse practitioner, we had a dietitian. We talked about donation, being a kidney donor, or organ transplant in general. We heard that within our community that organ donation is very low, and which is something that, you know, we're trying to encourage our community, Black community, to be more open to be organ donors. And we learned about different nutrition, different diets that we need to engage in in order to get our bodies and to keep our kidneys healthy. We learn about the different markers that could indicate to you that you may be at risk of developing kidney disease. Unfortunately, there isn't a test that's been administered right now for that. And that is something that we will be looking into to advocate for, so that people could know whether or not they are at risk of developing kidney disease.
All right, I do agree with you. And I know you just launched your kidney foundation. We're going to get into that after. But I do agree with you that our community is not so upbeat about kidney donor and stuff like that. Because I have a friend who just had, well, about 2-3 years ago, he had a kidney transplant and it was successful, and he's reliving a second life right now. For the purpose of us who were not so educated on it, are you able to just briefly mention like a few signs that we can be going down the road of going towards a bad kidney?
Well, so a couple of things. Your blood pressure. Okay, so you may be suffering from high blood pressure, and they always say hypertension is a silent killer, and that could be that you have some sort of an underlying issue, right? One of them could be a kidney-related issue. So it's important that you maintain your pressure, and that it's not too high, and you don't eat a lot of salt. Your salt intake is a very important way to control that. Diabetes is another factor that, if that is not managed properly, could also lead to kidney disease. I listened to one of the testimonials from one of the live donors yesterday, and one of the signs and symptoms that he was facing was that he was having itchy skin and he wasn't urinating as much as possible. And he was a healthy guy, going on playing golf and doing this and doing that. He wasn't in any pain. And so when he went to the doctor, he was like at 10% kidney function, and he didn't even know that. So you could be having kidney failure and not even realizing it. So the thing to do is just keep visiting your doctors, maintaining your blood pressure and your diabetes. And those are two other things that I know of that you need to be able to look at.
Well, thank you for that. And yesterday I also learned on your seminar that the kidney really controls the heart. That's what I heard. Is it correct?
That is correct. I mean, the kidney, it plays a role in every area of our body, even blood, the producing of blood. So it's a very important organ. It's very important organ.
Wow. And that's exactly what we want to do here at Vincy Internet Radio. If we can educate our community, and like I was talking to Cippy, we also gonna follow up and do a program also on mental health, because sometimes our community is a bit too naive in thinking those things don't happen to us because we're like this. So moving on, Maxine, you're in the community. It seems to me like you're born to be a leader, and recently you launched the Rocena Kidney Foundation. Can you tell us a little bit about how it started and what motivated you to get involved in that?
Thanks, Moulton. So the Kidney Foundation started for me. It was about daring to lead and support our community, and it came from a personal, emotional vulnerability and courage for me to listen and learn. And when I say vulnerability, and that vulnerability also came from a lot of pain and suffering. Pain and suffering from my mom, because she lived with kidney disease for 27 years. Well, she died. She died from it 27 years ago, and she lived with one kidney for 20.
Condolences. So.
Thank you. And at the time of her death, 27 years ago, I also found out that I myself have the same disease that she died from, which is a generic disease. It's hereditary. So there was no escaping it for me, right? And so that in itself lead me to this point. I wanted to be in a position where I could not only lead, but to give back to our community, especially our community that's dealing with this kidney disease.
Well, I just want to tell you that we appreciate what you're doing, because many of us would just stood by and do nothing, try to take care of ourselves, and we appreciate that the work you're doing in the community apart from your foundation. And like I said, you launched your foundation about a week or two ago. And how did people react to it? How did people gravitate towards the launch?
Moulton, it was well received. The turnout was great. I even recruited someone on our team on the day off. Wow. People liked our mission, because our mission is we want to listen and learn and to be collaborative within a team environment. And that's part of our mission. We want to be able to work with the community. So this is not about me. This is a we thing, because kidney disease doesn't just only affect me, right? It affects, there's a lot of people, and whether or not you want to believe it, more and more Black people are being diagnosed every day with kidney disease, and the rate is so high. And what we're here to do is to bring awareness and financial assistance wherever it's needed. And I just want to say, this is not only for here in Canada, but the mission is to take this to St. Vincent and the Grenadines in our homeland.
Your foundation, of course, has been endorsed by the Kidney Foundation, I suppose.
They have been very supportive in the educational part of stuff. So whatever resources that I need for, say, for example, this seminar, I was able to go to them and they were able to provide me with the resource. So all the speakers, they're the ones that did the connection. So on the educational side of stuff, they've been very supportive of that. Yes.
Oh, okay. Before Sip jumps in, I just want to ask you about, because you had a sponsored walk, I think that it ends today actually, and people were able to contribute to sponsoring you and your team. How is that coming along? Did you reach your goal?
So yeah, we had a team on the Ontario Kidney Foundation. They had their walk today, and they're raising money for all the resources and educational stuff that they do. So this is their way of, this is their biggest fundraiser. So we put together a team to help them raise money to do the work that they're doing for the whole of Canada. But I signed up under the Ontario branch. So we set a small goal, our team, because our team is small. So we had a goal of $1,000. My personal goal was $300. I surpassed my $300 goal, and we surpassed our $1,000 team goal, which I say was very, very awesome on our part. So we were very happy about that.
Yeah, congratulations. And on behalf of you, I'd like to thank everyone who has contributed to that cause. And believe me, it is a worthy cause, because all the money, of course, goes to the Ontario Kidney Foundation directly.
Exactly. And I want to say thank you to whomever is listening and that you've supported me. Thank you so very much. So I walked today with my dog. We had a nice walk, and I'm sorry I don't have any pictures to show, but it was a nice morning for a nice fresh walk. Yeah.
Thanks again, Sid.
I just want to ask, what is the main aim of setting up this foundation, as you say, because of certain family related? Do you have anybody in St. Vincent at the moment that you're gonna transfer your business to, or somebody in St. Vincent who's gonna look forward to your business?
Well, we're in the process of registering the foundation in St. Vincent. So we have the paperwork. We were just waiting to launch it here first, and then register it in St. Vincent. I have a team of people that is ready to carry on the work down there. Actually, Cippy, one of those people is your niece, who is also related to me, by the way, that she's going to be part of that team in St. Vincent.
That's a good start. I don't want to push my head on her, but I know she's hardworking. That's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you guys are related.
Yes, we are related.
Yeah. How are you gonna raise funds? What's your main aim for raising funds for your organization?
So, I mean, we have a lot, various activities. So the launching date, we did a barbecue, and so we raised some funds there. So we're gonna be doing stuff like eventually doing a gala, doing raffles, 50-50, bowling, put on various events to raise funds to be able to do the work that we set out to do. Maybe, we can, when we have certain projects, we could also request or get loans or grants from various organizations to be able to do some of the work that we want to do.
In Georgetown, there's a dialysis center there. Are you planning to make any contribution to that center or get some educational stuff from that center so people can understand what this kidney disease is all about?
Of course. That is one of the intentions, to be able to assist them for whatever they're in need of, and to provide some educational teaching there as well. So that's one of the aim.
Have you been in touch with anybody from the that area as yet?
I did. So when I started my research, I don't want to put anybody on blast here, but when I started the research to set up the foundation, I did reach out to the lady in charge. The reception wasn't as warm, I must say, because I was just a individual asking questions. But I've since been able to connect with other people that is going to be advocating on behalf of the foundation. So I'm hoping to be able to make some way with this young lady, the head of the diagnostic center.
Okay, I can always push something for you. I know who you're talking about.
Okay, that would be great.
I'm always going to push something for you. So
thank you.
Besides your foundation, what other activities are you involved in the nation's capital to help us motivate this society?
Well, you know what? Because my foundation is it's new, and we want to make sure that we're doing everything that we set out to do, and have everything in order. Most of our focus right now is to put the foundation, in a good place, give us some presence within the community, and make sure that it's stable, and develop our leadership skills, and so that when we go out there, when the representatives from our foundation go out there, we're representing with integrity. And so that's where most of our focus is right now.
How are you planning to communicate with the wider community to establish or to distribute your foundation to them?
Well, so far, right now, we've had a request from Flow Seniors. Flow Seniors here in Ottawa is an organization that deals with seniors issues, and so they have reached out to us, and so they want us to do a segment. They have monthly programs, so they want us to do a segment with them on kidney and diabetes. So that is in the works for October. So and yesterday I was invited to a chit chat from the Jamaican Association, and they also would like our organization to be a part of their planning when it comes to health, kidney related. So people are reaching out, and we will obviously reach out to the community and let them know that we're here. Reach out to the various organizations.
Are you planning to reach out to more Vincentian organizations, say out west in New York and other places around the globe?
Sure, yes, of course. Toronto, wherever they may be, because as I say, this is not just for Ottawa. The organization is we're going to be doing it. It's international. The way that we're set up to be able to work international.
Yeah, Maxine, again, thanks to be I cannot emphasize enough how I really appreciate this venture that you're getting into with the Kidney Foundation, because like I said before, our community, we're lacking a lot of resources as to what's happening around us. Like we tend to take a lot of things, stuff like that, for granted. What would be the process if, let's say, I would like to donate my kidney when I die? What would be, like, can you just tell us a little bit, like, what would be the process to do that?
So, Moulton, you drive, you have a driver's license, and you renew your health card every year or however often. So when you do that, I think there's a card that comes there and asks you if you like to be an organ donor. You just have to indicate on that yes.
Mm-hmm.
So once you indicate that, then they'll have that on record. So should anything happen to you, they'll see that Moulton is given the authority to donate his organs, whether it's kidney, heart, whatever, to whomever. So that's one of the ways.
Yeah, and I just want to stress to our listeners, like, how important it is to do that if you really want it to happen, because after, let's say, you get into an accident, it doesn't take a long time for it to materialize. I remember my friend, as soon as this kid got into an accident, they had to airlift the organ immediately, and he had to be summoned immediately for the surgery. So just for our listeners' sake, I asked a question because a lot of us do it every year and we're not really in tune with what's happening. We just go and renew whatever we're renewing, you know. So in our community, I know Sim asked a similar question. You're obviously planning to go through this like 365 days a year, not exactly advertising, but throughout the year you would be working on the projects with the kidney and doing fundraisers. What are some of the things you expect from the community? What are some of the feedback?
Moulton, if we're able to reach one person to make a lifestyle change to protect their kidneys, we say we're doing great, right? And so the mission here is to be able to deliver information, right? Our team is to deliver information to the community that they can use to better their kidney health, to improve their kidney health. That's what our aim is. So when we take on this leadership role with responsibility, and our responsibility is to ensure that people within our community do the necessary things to take care of their kidney health.
So it's more like each one has to look after himself. You're putting out the information out there, and people need to grab the resources and educate ourselves about it.
Yeah, so we'll provide the resources and we're gonna give it to you and for you to be able to utilize that the best way possible.
So you also mentioned that you were diagnosed with the kidney disease a few years ago. How is that going for you? How are you keeping up?
Well, for me, I do yearly visits with my nephrologist to ensure that my kidney functions are still the same. As of today, I could say that I have about 65% kidney function. my blood, and then my general practitioner, my doctor, she monitors me every 3 months to make sure that, my blood pressure and my diabetes, which I'm both diabetic and I have high blood pressure, that they're contained, they're maintained. So that's what I'm doing right now. And of course, trying to eat healthy.
Okay, and you explained to me one time that there's one that you need dialysis and the other one you don't need. There's two kinds of.
Yeah. So when you get to end stage or renal failure, that's what they call it. So
What is it called?
renal failure.
Mhm.
So that's the end. You don't have any more kidney function. That's what it's called, renal failure.
Mhm.
So there are options, right? So you could choose to go on dialysis. On dialysis, you could do hemo, which is you do that in the hospital where you go 3 days a week for that. And perineal, that you do that at home. They hook you up, they give you all the necessary equipments, and you do your own dialysis at home. And the other option would be to get a kidney transplant. So once you have a kidney transplant, you no longer need to do the dialysis because now your kidney would be working as if it's a normal kidney. And part of what the doctor said, once you get a kidney transplant, your kidney goes right back up to working at a 70% function if you do all the things that you need to do.
Mhm. And of course, people can. You don't have to wait till you die to donate a kidney, right? You can.
No, because say for example, Moulton, if you're a match and say for example, your wife is needing a kidney and you're a match, you can be a live donor to donate your kidney, because the gentleman on our session yesterday, he got his kidney from his wife. They were both a match. So you don't have to wait. It doesn't have to wait until someone dies for you to get a kidney. People could be a live donor.
Okay, well, thank you for that information because again, we're lacking some of these, common knowledge in our community. So what would be next for is the Rocena Kidney Foundation the end for Maxine Grant, or you have other projects in the future? I mean, you don't have to say exactly what it is, but what's next for Maxine?
Well, currently we as I say, we want to make sure that the foundation is firm, it's established. We want to be able to set the one up in St. Vincent and get that one going. And so we could start doing the work that we want to do in St. Vincent. So your listeners need to know that we are a registered organization, and we are registered with the CRA. So when people make donations to us, they can always get tax receipt. That goes a long way. At the end of the year, when you preparing your tax, you want to know that I make a donation and it's counted. So anybody that makes donation to us, they get a tax receipt. So we're just working on the foundation. We're gonna plan some events between now and the end of the year to raise money and take it from there.
When your foundation is up and running and somebody need assistance, how could they contact you, and how could they bring forward the problem to you so that you can help them financially when you're up and running?
Okay, well, I mean, we're up. We just need to make more. We need to have some more money to think. But so we're on Facebook, and we have a website. So on Facebook, our Facebook is Rocena Kidney Foundation. I think that's our Facebook handle. So it's the Rocena Kidney Foundation. Our website is rocenakidneyfoundation.ca. they can send me an email at rocenafoundation@gmail.com or by phone, 613-327-3406. And just let us know what are your needs, and we will do our best to help.
You've been involved with a lot more organizations throughout our area. Give us an idea of some of the organizations that you've been involved with and what was your work like in those organizations?
Well, on my professional sides of things, we have, so I'm a patent assistant and I deal with intellectual property. And so we have a committee that's formed to help people in our field be up to date with the new laws from the different countries, because we deal with countries all over the world, Europe, the USA, China, name it. So we have this committee set up, and I'm part of the founding member of that committee. And every year we put on a symposium where we bring in speakers from the various different countries. So we have Canada, US, Europe, and they come here and they put on presentation to other patent assistants as myself, so that we're up to date with the laws from different countries. So I'm a member of that. I'm also, as I said before, the ACC, where we do our health seminar. I'm also a member of that.
And besides that, you were former president of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Auto Association. Give us a little bit of background on that association.
Yes, RCP, I was the former president of that. I believe I was on that association for seven years as the president. Before that, I did different roles, stepping here, there, wherever. I was also a member of the picnic committee, the Vincy picnic. I was a member of that committee as well. I served on that for more than 7 years. Even before I was a president, I was always there helping out. During my time on the association, I try to collaborate and work with other organizations, because my thing is working together in as a team and to collaborate, because I find you get more done when you collaborate. And I think that's a sign of good leadership, when you're able to work together with other organizations or other groups. So I've done that, and we've made donations to organizations in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The last one that I did was with the police youth. They have the youth group throughout St. Vincent, and these are vulnerable kids. And so we were able to make contribution to them. I think that was in 2019. So that's the last involvement that I had with the SVG Association.
During that time, do you think that organizations throughout Canada, Vincentian organization, should come together and form a more forceful organization so that we can take and collaborate things in St. Vincent and the Grenadines from maybe one umbrella?
As I said, collaboration is key. I think that's a great idea, because there is strength in numbers. And if we could all work as one team for the same common goal, that to me, that is important.
With modern communication, I think that something that can be looked into.
Yes, I agree. Mm-hmm.
And besides your organization, give us a little bit more of Maxine Grant. Tell us a little bit more of you and what you like to achieve in life, what your aim and objective are for going forward.
I've always been someone that likes to give back to my community, even back home, CP. I was part of, because I got pregnant at an early age. And so we formed a young mothers club in Georgetown. Yvonne Francis Gibson, she was the mastermind for that. And so part of our mission was to promote, safe sex, because of the fact that most of us were young mothers, right? So I always like to be able to be in a position to give back. I'm an independent-minded person, and so I always look for different opportunities to advance myself, whether is, starting my own little business. So, and I've done that in St. Vincent. I came up here, I did the same thing. I tried my hand here, I tried my hand there. So I'm someone that's always like to be involved in the community, and not just for myself personally, but for the better and the greater good of the community.
So you talk about your young days growing up in Georgetown. Well, somebody that I knew, you're not a stranger to me in that sense because of my soccer days of coming up to Georgetown. What are some of the things that you notice now of the young people that are in today versus the young people that were yesterday? How you can make a comparison?
Oh my gosh. The young people today, too much technology. Like it's just, I find they're disconnected in some sense. Back in your days, back in my days, CP, when you come to play football, like I was soccer, I was there, I was in tune. And my voice was like one of the loudest voice on that cheering squad, especially when Byra come to play, because I never liked the Byra players.
I know, that's why we used to always win.
And it used to hurt. It hurt so much, and
they had to get by me, and most of the problem they couldn't get by me. And that was the hurt of the most of the things there.
Yeah, and some of the things I used to say about you, but I won't say them because I won't tell you now, but anyways, but back then people they were more outside and more involved in sports and camaraderie and stuff. Now I don't see that. I don't see that. And I find now there's a lot more pulling down of each other in this day and age. You really hardly used to see that back then. And I don't know, it's a different world. It's a different times we're living in.
I think one of the main problems that I don't think that sportsmen and women work hard as we used to do in our days. And I don't think that they put out the discipline. The discipline is not there anymore. Guys showing up to practice or whatever with something in their hand. They're more interested in what they have in their hand and than going on the field and play. But it used to be a lot of discipline. And one of the things I notice in our society right now is that a lot of the discipline is broken down because people want to be themselves and they don't want to work hard to achieve anything. Mediocrity seems to be the priority in those lives. What do you think about that?
Again, I find a lot of the team sport now, there's no team. I think a lot of players on it's all about themselves. It's all about me. And I always say, there is no I in team, because if you spell team, you don't see an I there, right? So for me, and it goes right back to an organization. when you part of an organization, when you're part of a team, it's not one person. It's every single person makes that organization, makes that team. And you're gonna have people that have different personalities, and it's trying to make those different personalities work, because they're different skill sets, and you bring all those different skill sets to make and form a team, whether it's a sport team or an organization. You bring those different skill sets. It's not a one-person show. And that is what is lacking. The team concept is lacking, whether it's a sports team or a community organization. And we need to bring that back.
I think one of the things that we need to do, as you say, I don't know how we're gonna get this, but community efforts are really down, and it's a lot of community teams or a lot of community organizations, and without community teams and community organization, there's nobody for the people to look up to, and I think that's one of the problems that we're facing in big societies, is that there's no inspiration coming from the people at the top.
Inspiration coming from the people. There is one, and I'm going to put it out here. I did a tribute to Miss Ingrid John Baptiste when she got this award from the Flow Seniors. And she is a leader, and I aspire to be like her, someone with integrity, someone that don't think about herself and is a true leader. Okay. And when we talk about leadership and people looking up to, having someone to look up to, there isn't a lot of around, because as I mentioned earlier, some people, they're there just for themselves. And so when you have leadership skills like that, it's really hard. It's really hard to have people look up to you in the community. A leader and leadership skills means that you have to embrace and embody everything and everyone in your community. It doesn't matter what class they're in, you have to be able to embrace everybody in your community.
For what you're doing in our community, I call it a success, and the reason why I'll call it a success already, actually your resume is a bit longer than I was really aware of, and I'm glad you went back to St. Vincent, because it showed that you were born to be a leader. You were involved in the community, not only in the diaspora here, but you started it way back. So the reason I call it a success is because it's unique to, again, our community. And I must say hats off to you again to be like different than something that's going on, and also at the same time contributing and educating us about this whole kidney thing with your kidney foundation. So my question is, what page would you like someone to take from your book? I mean, you answered the question that I wanted to ask you before. Who would you idolize or patronize? So what page would you like someone looking up to you to take from your book, or what legacy would you like to leave with us?
It's simple. When you're doing something, do it from your heart. Do it because, don't do it to get the likes. Okay? Do it, put everything that you have in it, because I tell you, I've worked in groups and different personalities come out. And my goal is I'm looking at the bigger picture. I'm looking at why I'm here. I'm looking at the outcome. So I could work with the devil if I have to, but I know at the end of the day, we're going to attain that goal. We're going to achieve what we set out to do. So what I want people to take away from this, from what I'm doing, is whatever is it that you're put your mind out there to do, what you set out to do it with everything that you have. Give it your 110%. It doesn't matter what obstacle comes your way. You find ways to rise above those obstacles with integrity and just forge on, because you're going to be looking at the bigger picture.
Thank you, Maxine. I really appreciate you. I appreciate this conversation also, because I can tell our viewers and listeners that whatever you say is just sincere. I remember a few months ago, probably, I had a conversation with you about a few incidents, and you told me, Moulton, I don't know how to smooth out things. I just say it as it is. And even if it was my friend, my best friend, whatever, it would be the same result, because I do not see faces. I do not see, so I appreciate you for your honesty. I appreciate what you're doing right now. And all I can say is that I wish you and the Rocena Foundation, Kidney Foundation, sorry, all the very best. Feel free anytime to come back on Vincy Internet Radio to whatever promotion you need. SIP is going to give you the time of the day. I'm sorry you didn't come on before for your sponsor walk, so that we could have highlighted some of the things that you're doing. But anyways, nevertheless, it's never too late. Again, keep on doing what you're doing. We appreciate you for what you're really, really doing in the community. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. And thanks again for being on the program. And just before you go, though, you can tell everyone, for our listeners, how they can get in touch with you again before SIP comes in.
Thank you so very much, Moulton. This has been a pleasure for me. It's very humbling for me to be here, and the fact that you guys reach out to me to give me this platform to tell your viewers, your listeners, about this remarkable thing that we're venturing on for kidney health. And this is not a my thing, as I say. This is a we thing. And thank you for that, for giving me this platform. And I sincerely mean that. So people can get in touch with us. Again, we're on Facebook at Rocena Kidney Foundation. We are on our website is the rocenakidneyfoundation.ca, and you can send us an email at rocenafoundation@gmail.com, or call me 613-327-3406, and we'll be gladly able to answer any of the questions that you may have and help in any way that we can.
One thing I'm gonna say, you gotta send me some information. Let's link your website towards my website.
Okay.
Just any information that you need, you can just call me anytime. If you want to come back to promote something, just let us know. You don't even have to tell me. You just have to tell my co-host or my host on sometime. Why either of us gonna work, so it doesn't matter. You don't have to reach. If you can't reach me, and you can reach my host or sometime my co-host, it's all good. It's just like one love. So anytime you need anything, anytime you need to come back, let us know. If you need a promotion in anything, let us know. If you need something on the website, don't be afraid to reach out, because we all might see eye to eye. We might not see what you're doing. There's always obstacles in the way. So we have to get rid of those obstacles, and also we have to work towards a goal. You know, if you don't have a goal, it doesn't make any sense that you really come out to take. So in wrapping up, tell the listeners again what you are about, your foundation and everything, so that everybody who maybe join us late can have an idea what you really want to achieve.
So the foundation is really, we're geared to help people living with kidney disease and who could be at risk of developing kidney disease. Where our mission is to provide educational teaching, financial assistance to people living with kidney disease. We want to engage in fundraising activities to help our mission that we set out to, and work with other groups that have the similar interests, that health related interests, such as ours. Again, as I mentioned earlier, this is about, it was an emotional vulnerability, courage for me to take this initiative on. And like, we look forward to, you know, helping people here in Canada and in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Everyone on my team, you know, we pledge to take on the leadership responsibility to invest in positive health outcome and potentials in making a difference on issues related to kidney in our community. So this is not about me. This is about the community. And again, Cippy, I thank you so much, and Moulton, thank you guys so much for allowing me to be a part of your viewing, listening audience, and for partaking in this and putting out this information out there to people, because it's well needed information.
Once again, I would like to thank you for your time. Thanks for coming on to Vincy Internet Radio. And whenever you need something, don't be afraid to reach out to me or reach out to Moulton. So once again, thanks a lot.
Thank you so very much.